By the end of this video, you'll learn how to transform an old pashmina into a custom-made infinity scarf. Today I'll show you 2 different ways to make an infinity scarf. Now, if you're like me, you have several scarves and you always have difficulty tying them around your neck. So my natural solution was to change them into infinity scarves to eliminate some of this hassle. So here is what you'll need. You'll need a scarf or 2, scissors and or pinking shears, thread, pins, and of course a sewing machine. Now I'm going to start by cutting off the fringe from the scarf since I won't be needing them anymore. And then I'll start working on this red one here. Now it's time to identify the good and the bad side of the scarf. Now where I'm pointing to is the good side, and I don't want this to be exposed for now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to fold the scarf so that the ends where the fringe used to be line up with each other. You'll see in a second. Now the ends are lined up, and I'm going to pin the scarf together, going all the way down the line. Once that's done, I take it to the sewing machine and I start sewing along that area. Now I always reinforce the edges, so I go back in reverse with my sewing machine. And I keep on going all the way down, taking out the pins as I go along. And when I reach the end, I reinforce it as well. Now I fold that same area I just went over. So I'm going to start pinning them as well, and I run them through the machine in the same manner as before. And this is the finished product here. So basically now I just open up the scarf and now I can see the finished seam. And we'll come back to this red scarf in a second. So now we're on to the leopard print scarf. Now this scarf is easier to see which side's the good side and the bad side. The good side has a stronger black print. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to fold the scarf along the length of it. With the bad side exposed to us right now, I'm going to align the length and pin it along. Now it's time to take the scarf to the sewing machine and sew along where we just pinned up, the length of the scarf. Once we're done sewing, the scarf is essentially now a bit of a tube, so we're just going to open it up with our arm here, with my arm here, and expose the more pronounced side, the good side of the fabric. I'm going to match up the ends of the scarves together and get this ready to go through the sewing machine one more time. So before that, I'm just going to align everything here and then get to pinning the fabric together, which took me a little time, as you can see. And now it's time to pin it, to prep it to run through the sewing machine again. And we sew again, remembering to reinforce the ends by reversing the direction of the sewing machine. Since there's a little excess in between the thread line and the end of the scarf, I'm going to gently cut them off with the pinking shears. Now, since this is twice as thick as the red scarf, it's best to use pinking shears as they help to reduce the fray. And I just simply folded the scarf over one quick time, the seam over one quick time, and I ran that through the sewing machine for the last go around. And everything is all done now. So here is the first red scarf. So there is a seam. I'm going to place the seam at the back of my neck. And now I'm just going to wrap the scarf around. Make sure hair didn't get fluffed out of place. And this is nice and wide so I can play around, extend it to my shoulders, wherever I want to wear it. Now here is the leopard print one, so there's the seam I showed. So I'm going to place that at the back of my neck and just twist it around a couple of times. And that's all it takes. These took me about 10 to 15 minutes each on the sewing machine. I hope you liked the infinity scarf tutorial. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to I See Melanie, and until next time, guys.